All right, guys, welcome into the Findable podcast each week. And I promise, with all the stuff going on, we got a million things going on like you do. On Mondays, 4 o'clock, we will be going. This will be our last Wednesday, but we get things. We got a lot of people that are important, not Nick and I, but we're important. We're not, but we got people behind the scenes that are, that they're the geniuses behind it. And that's why we're here today. Nick Bender, the founder, my partner of Grunkdolfer and the CEO, and partner on the Findable podcast. We got Brett. We call him Brett the producer, but Brett Burks, who's a genius and one of the best in the business, is our new producer on here with help from the executive producer, Bailey. So we're good to go. Nick, welcome in, brother. Dude, every single Wednesday, it's another tournament coming up on Thursday. We're going to hit what happened last week with Justin Rose, but man, you starting to feel it, brother. You were out at the Amex. We got the San Diego Farmers, and now we're in Scottsdale. What I think for me, I get the most giddy about what I think it's the best golf tournament. I know not named a major. To me, this and the one at Pebble Beach, but for the energy, there's nothing like what's going to happen this week. But how you doing, my man?
I'm great. Yeah, the People's Major this week, right? It's going to be hard to talk about the Farmers because although we should talk about, obviously, Rosie, the coverage I thought was great. But man, I'm itching. I can't believe I'm not going. I mean, my brand, obviously, is Grunkdolfer. It might as well be called the Grunkdolfer Open. Maybe one day it will be. But there's not really quite – I probably like this tournament better than anything but the Masters, to be honest with you. So it's an exciting week for me. But, yeah, let's talk Farmers. What'd you think?
You know what? And real quick about that, I spent a lot of time in Scottsdale. To me, and it's always timed with the Super Bowl, the event is different, man. There's the biggest crowd of any event year, majors included. The most raucous, but in a fun way. They know what they're getting into. We'll talk later on in this broadcast about is that repeatable at other courses. But it's been standalone. Waste Management has bought into it, which has been a sponsor for feels like 20 years now. They run it great. The broadcast, Golf Channel, CBS, they do such a phenomenal job. And just everything for those of us, and I've been to it, and I usually set my clock by it. It is, to me, it's the start of spring training with baseball. I know the Super Bowl's around the corner. I actually do get energy. It's that feeling of, it's Phoenix Open, Waste Management Phoenix Open week. And I'm with you, and you're exactly right. Your brand, like Waste Management, Grunkdolfer Phoenix Open, brother, because beer, and I got the hydration electrolyte First Light drink to get everybody normal and sober and hydrated after they drink all that beer. So we're in this love together. Let me tell you about the Farmers. First of all, anybody that's played the South Course, it's friggin' brutal, and I have. And while it's brutal on an amateur like me, it's even brutal on the professionals. But I'm going to tell you, I don't know, and it's course record 23 under par. From the time they teed off and wire to wire, Justin Rose, and that golf course, the setting, and I've lived in San Diego. It's my hometown. Nick, you're not far from there in the Orange County area, right? In San Diego. That is, every now and then you're going to get a marine layer or some wind off the ocean in Torrey, all that stuff that makes it tougher, rough high. They can set it up for U.S. Open. They can set it up for this, and they've done both. It's brutal when it's calm and when the wind's, but you will never in your life at any tournament at any time find 4 mid-70s with minimal wind coming off the coast. That's the best 4 days in a row San Diego's ever had at that event. There's no mist. There was no rain. There was no weather. It was phenomenal. And Justin Rose brought it to its knees. You can't shoot 23 under par there, dude. The great Tiger Woods. It's only been done a couple times, wire to wire. And what wasn't good? He drives a golf ball. He's still long. He's 45 years old. His iron play is, his distance control, the way he played out of bunkers, the way he putted, the confidence. I actually think Justin Rose is still good enough. If Scottie Scheffler wasn't a PGA Tour player, I think Justin Rose's confidence in his game's good enough to be the player of the year on the PGA Tour. I do. And he is playing as good a golf as he's ever played. He's not sacrificing distance to be better at his short game. There was a lot to discuss from Joel Damon to Brooks Koepka and how they got there, and we'll get to those. But I thought Justin Rose was fantastic. That can't do anything but help you as you move forward, because you didn't shoot it at a 30-under golf course. Now, don't disrespect to the Amex in Palm Springs, but we know what we're doing there. You know that you play, 10 under, 11 under par is cut line. You could shoot 10 under and miss the cut there. You shoot 10 under there, you're in the top top 12 or 15 at Torrey. And you'll get some scoring out at the Phoenix Open too, and a great setup, Tom Weiskopf. I thought the Farmers Open out in Scottsdale with the Waste Management, but it's got in Torrey in San Diego. It's a great golf tournament because it tests the best. And Justin Rose proved that he was the best. It was never in doubt. Once we got out of the first round, all he had to do was hit greens and 2-putt, and the tournament was over. And he proved that.
I think on Saturday, Joel Damon was like, well, I have a chance if he doesn't wake up for his tee time, right? It was like everyone knew that he was 6 strokes up or something going into Sunday. I think what's most impressive that I haven't heard anybody talk about is I watched him play at the Amex the week prior and missed the cut. And he was right on the line, and he had a couple holes at the end of the 3rd round that basically lost him the entire. So you got a guy. I mean, obviously he's 45. He's a seasoned vet, but like that's got to mess with any guy's head going into a tournament that's a 3-day cut. So you play 3 full days out there in the desert, and you barely miss the cut after a couple bad holes at the very end, the 50th hole and on, and you come back and just absolutely dominate a week later. You know, that is a true testament to, you know, the Hall of Fame level that he is.
And you know what? That question was bantered about on the broadcast about Justin Rose, a Hall of Famer. Dude, I don't think he has to win another tournament to be a Hall of Famer. He's won a major.
No,
he's won multiple times. He's won a bunch of times in Europe, and he's won a bunch of times on the PGA Tour. He's 45, playing great golf. And, you know, I watch his routine, and listen, for young people and old people alike, you know why, and we've joked about the old and the young, right, Nick, on the show, your age group and my age group, and one of these days we're going to have great content where it's us against you, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. But as I look at Justin Rose, and people, I say, yeah, man, you get a little, get shorter as you get older. Even those guys like Justin Rose who realize long guys like Pot Geeter and Jake Knapp and guys that are pumping at 330 on a regular basis, right? And Marco Penge. But I can tell you this is, you know how you get old on the golf course? As you get older, you do less. You play a little less. Your body's not as in shape unless you do the Justin Rose training regime, and the Kobe Bryants of the world, George, where you stay on top of it, and the Tom Brady's where fitness becomes more important at 45 than it does. You see guys that were 185 on tour, played 180, and then they're 230 as they're in their 40s. Now, I know that aging hits, but Justin Rose has done a great job with his incredible regime of training. And every shot on the practice range stands behind it, goes through his routine. He has done everything to simulate real golf on a practice range and on the putting green from his coach and his swing teacher and just the way his alignment, all of it. And the excuse of, guys are getting shorter as they get older, and that may be true. But Rose is still, listen, what's the difference in Pot Geeter hitting it, aside from the yardage, hitting at 330, Justin Rose hitting at 310. He's hitting a pitching wedge or a 9-iron as Pot Geeter, but Justin Rose is hitting an 8-iron into greens and still hitting it to 10 feet. So why do I care? And I think that we build in excuses for older guys. If you're healthy and can stay in where you don't have won 20 times, you know what? I can kind of be casual. Look at how far my guy on the senior tour, Padraig Harrison, said he still hit at 310 because he's done it. You know what he's done too? He said, I used to eat burgers. He's changed his way to go about it, and he's winning and still out driving 75% of the young cats. So in truth, it's like a quarterback who's a thrower and a guy who's a passer. A thrower drops back and throw it 100 miles an hour, but he may not be able to hit the target. Justin Rose is a passer in football. He's a golfer, not just a guy who can pound it. He's not a long drive contestant. Yet that 10 yards of distance, he's so good with distance control and he's in shape. If he stays away from injury, why can't the guy keep winning? He hits greens, he makes putts, he hits fairways, he hits at 300. It's not like he's hitting at 270 and the other guys are 70 yards in front of him. So the excuse, and Justin Rose hasn't let it creep in. He's gotten in better shape at 45 than he was at 25 because he understands that it's easy for us to say, man, the dude's 45. This is about the time you start to understand exactly mentally and emotionally how to deal with golf or failure and success because you're going through trying to win and make money younger. And then when you just figure it out mentally and emotionally, physically, you're not able to do it anymore or like you used to. He's the opposite. He's better mentally and emotionally. He's confident, and he's in good a shape as anybody on tour right now. He just is. So the excuse of all these old guys can't keep up, not you, but anybody who's saying 45, wow, I think Justin Rose takes it to heart. Like, no, I'm not succumbing to this. So I thought he was phenomenal, and there was a lot of storylines in this tournament with Koepka and Joel Damon as well.
Yeah, he was great. Obviously, I think I'll leave that there. You said it. You said it all well. I want to definitely talk. First of all, my call to win with Schauffele didn't make the cut. How disappointing and embarrassing is that? You're at home. It's your first tournament of the year. All this hype around you, and this is what really separates. I feel like the greats from the goods. He's a gold medal winner, right? He is a good golfer, but Tiger didn't miss those kind of cuts. Scotty doesn't miss those kind of cuts. Even Rosie doesn't really miss those kind of cuts. And so to come out,
McIlroy doesn't miss those cuts. You're exactly right.
Yeah, there is a different level, and while he is good, and I think he's great, it's real disappointing as a fan where you can't watch these guys play on the weekend because they can't make a cut.
Well, hometown, San Diego State guy, right?
At their hometown, nonetheless. And I know that place eats people up. Don't get me wrong; I have been there too. But you get a guy a 45-year-old shooting 23 under. And a young American can't freaking get it done to make the cut where he's one of the favorites. It's just disappointing for the game of golf. I hope he bounces back because I want to see him in more finals. But pretty disappointing.
Are we too hard on him for that? I mean, he was now Scheffler he had the longest standing made cut experience. Is it fair to cut him some slack, or is that building in a hall pass for him because he had 100 plus or right around 100?
I think that's the expectation as a fan.
Right.
No, right. I'm expecting to see you play on the weekends. Give me, that's what I think.
And your second choice was Maverick McNeely played really good, and my first choice was Harris English, who finished high. He had a good. I think a top 25.
And I think we waste no more breath on your man Oberg, because that guy just can't seem to get it together at all. He's sick.
I'm going to tell you something.
He's terrible.
Sick.
He's terrible.
His game, the first two rounds at Farmers. If that's the only thing I knew about Ludwig Oberg, I thought this cat can't win. The swing is so beautiful, but dude, it was a hard watch. It was hard watching a world-class player. He's like 6th in the world or something. He played like 665th in the world in that tournament. He's got to get it together. And maybe and I'm not making an excuse. I don't know if there was still lag, but his people even said that he wasn't sick from the week before. He was good to go. But he played like he'd make you want to throw up in your mouth, which that beautiful swing, which is not like him, which leads me to, and I want to get to Joel Damon because it's a great story. But Brooks Koepka made his return. And it was with a ton of fanfare. Aside from Rose's coverage, Koepka was covered the most, made the cut. We both said it would be successful, as did you. If he made the cut, ended up 4 or 5 under par, that didn't matter. But iron play, really good. I think he's dialed in pretty well. First day, couldn't hit a fairway. The driver got better because he's long and do it. But I can tell you this, and it will improve because he's a 2-time winner at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Brother, I'm telling you now, it's been a long time since I've seen a guy as good as him. I'm telling you right now, I putt better than Koepka did last week. I'm telling today on that golf course, after what I saw inside of 10 feet, and you know my affinity for him. I think he's going to win this year, and I think he's a great player. But hell, you and I might have outplayed Oberg too, the way he played last week. But I'm putting better at 6 feet. I'm telling you, dude, his distance control with the putter, his align. I've never seen him putt like that. You look like a guy who'd never been on tour with the putter. It was brutal to watch inside of 6-8 feet. He missed putt after putt. It almost was like a perpetual reel that you think you're seeing the same thing, and you didn't. If he makes those putts, it's a top 10 finish.
Right. Yeah, he's a top 10. He's in the 15 under range if he's making putts. I think it's, we thought this might be Scotty at the Amex where it's a warm-up round. I think that's what this was for him. Obviously, Scotty, we were wrong. He went out and won the thing. But for Koepka, I think look, what did we say was going to be a success? Middle under par, make a cut. And that's more than
on a tough golf
lot
course, 3 of the rounds.
yeah, well,
three
tough
rounds,
golf
right.
course, but also you're coming back with all the expectations on you. You got a ton of eyeballs on you because of the controversy of leaving and coming back, and you go out there and you perform, but the flat stick was cold as ice. So I think if he can clean that up, he's winning 2 or 3 times on tour. Forget about getting a win. If he can make the putts that he missed at the Farmers, like you said, his distance control was pretty on. He was missing like a lot of the 12 to 10 foot range putts that he is typically known to just drain time after time. And that's what's won him majors and won him the Phoenix Open twice. So if he can get that, which, you know, he's a seasoned vet, right? He'll figure that out and he'll be winning maybe next week and for sure later on in the year.
Yeah, and I love the fact, you know, obviously the coverage at press conferences, then his opening press conference, because we had done our show and then the opening press conference. I was really impressed with the way he handled the questions without skirting issues, without blaming somebody else, admitting there's some repentant remorse. And I mean, when repent is probably not the right word, but a little remorse about, you know, how it happened, but unapologetic with remorse. And there was a humble part of Brooks Koepka we're not used to seeing, because he is confident. He is short with media at times, and he felt affable and approachable, and he didn't get offended by any question. He laughed and he actually went out and shaved off all the hair and went with the fresh haircut on the opening round of Thursday. Maybe he needs to grow it back so he could putt, but I was impressed with the way he handled all the attention. And when he said the worst part of this is having to deal with the media, and then not in a bad way, but that was the biggest nerve-wracking thing, and to step on the first tee. And then to see his emotion with the way they responded to him as if it was a family member that wasn't feeling well and came back after a year and is now 100% healthy again. So I really was impressed with the way he handled it. I'm with you, man. First of all, Pohan is a bitch to putt on. Anybody that's ever tried it, and it's hard there. And he's never been good on it, and he admitted it. And it showed. You know what? If 25 of the tournaments were on that type of green, that grass, then you could bet that he wasn't going to win much. But his irons are alive and well, and he'll be playing on a different type of surface, and a surface that he's one of those guys, Nick, we all know those guys that wilt when they get their ass kicked. I think it's the opposite of him. I think he responds and punches back this week. I do. And I would imagine his putter, he gave away, I think it was Saturday, 5.5 strokes lost to the field on the greens. That's not like him. That's not a 5-time major winner. I expect it to be better. Joel Damon. I know this is something that's been that you love. The guy just missed being in the top, buck and a quarter last year, just on the outside, lost his tour card, sponsor exemptions, really good player. Matter of fact, didn't he make 3 eagles in round 1 or 2, and one of only 2 people to ever do it on par? I mean, eagled 3 of the holes on a tough course. He's got game. Even though he's not the longest, boy, is he dialed in and straight. The ball, I think he was hitting the fairway more than anybody the first 2 or 3 rounds by the metrics. But the way he gets into this tournament and his grind, he's a Scottsdale guy. He's got that youthful exuberance that you're talking about with some veteran. I think Joel Damon's going to find a way to play in most of the tournaments this year. Obviously, there's certain ones he's going to have to qualify for, but I'm impressed with his humble and the way he goes about it to get into a tournament that's right in his backyard where he lives now.
Yeah, I mean, just could there be a better guy to root for on tour? I don't think so.
Agreed.
Obviously, he came up in fame with that Netflix show. We probably wouldn't know who the hell he is without that. But obviously the caddy and his relationship is something that everybody resonates with. And I think the best thing about him is he's an everyman golfer. Every guy feels like, God, if I could just, he's not a Ben Griffin who's had the chance and then just took off. But he's in the mix time and time again. To see him up there in second place going into the final day, I think he ended in the top 5 still. It's just exciting. And then this is a great transition into the Phoenix Open Waste Management. He gets the exemption into that tournament that he had some viral moments over the years. And I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch it in general. But, man, if he could keep that same momentum, hit as many fairways as he hit, like you mentioned, and putt the way that he putted at the Farmers on the easier Phoenix stuff that he's used to, I mean, how about Joel Damon?
You got to have a ton of family. Yeah, that'd be awesome. He's going to have a ton of family, and he fits that event. I feel like he'd have a few pops with the fellas. I feel like he knows how to go out and have a good time and come back and play, but doesn't lose focus on what he's got to take care of. He'll have a bunch of people there root for. He's even admitted, he goes, well, at some of the times, early at this event, you go out and you lose a little focus because Scottsdale at this time of year is easy to lose focus. Go out with the fellas the night before, after you had a good round on Thursday, come back on Friday, but he's changed that. But to write a letter and send it to the Thunderbirds who have been running that for like 85 years, and to get into this tournament heartfelt and to have a chance to play, how could you not root for him? And don't you feel like from YouTube to golf, and it's unfair to call him a YouTube guy, but he has that vibe, yet he's a real pro. He's that guy that whether you're a basketball player or that gritty middle infielder in baseball, that sixth man who came off the bench, that you're the guy who's covering you is in foul trouble. And I had to face those guys. He'd come off the bench, and every time down the floor, he picks you up at half court, and he won't leave you alone. I feel like that's Joel Damon on the tour. Everybody loves him. He's easy to love. But you kind of look at the leaderboard, man, I made 2 birdies. Oh, Joel Damon's still there. He just doesn't go away. And for a guy who is scrambling around, the tour's tough. That dude, if you went out and played golf with Joel Damon, you'd be sitting there saying, this motherfucker's off the charts, right? And he knows how to win. I couldn't root harder for this guy, and I couldn't love him more. And at some point in time, we're going to have to get him on here, because just his journey and his approach to it, and just watching him on the golf course, his demeanor, I'm with you, brother. I'm not going to pick him this week, but I sure as hell hope that he's on that first page of the leaderboard coming in Saturday, Sunday.
I won't pick him, but I could tell you a prop bet to look out for.
You'll get some odds, brother. Yeah.
How about top 10 for Joel Damon? That's a great bet. It's
probably got
really good odds. I don't know.
How about $50 too? Me and you. You want to go 50? You say yes?
I'll go $100, man. Come on, I'm a gambling man.
Okay, a hundy. You got a hundy says yes. And there's a part of me that I'm willing to lose 100 for this because I want him to finish in the top 10 because it's such a great story. I'm going to go hundy against it that he finishes outside the top 10. Fair enough.
All right, there we go.
We'll make that a $100 demo.
But I'm going to make that bet in Vegas too, because I bet you're getting 5-1 on that.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's a good odds guy. There's no doubt that underdog coming in, you're going to get good odds on your money. Do you like the golf course at the Waste Management Phoenix Open and number 16 in particular? Yeah. Tell me what you'd feel like. I listened to Watch Golf Channel all week, and guys, when they're talking about it, it is weird. I was listening to the CEO of Waste Management. He played a pro-am with Justin Verlander there. That was his partner. And he said they came to the 16th tee box. And now Verlander's won Cy Young MVPs. He's a Hall of Famer, or will be. He's a guy pushing 300 wins in Major League Baseball and is a hell of a good player. That when he walked into 16, he said he never felt anything like it. And a lot of these guys feel that way because just the energy and the fans know where you went to college. It's such an educated but wild group. Easy golf shot. If you take the stands away, it's 145 yard. For those guys, they're going to be, some will probably pump a gap wedge depending on if there's any wind, but hitting a pitching wedge in there. But in truth, it's a brutal hole because I imagine you're pissing down your leg at times for the greatest stars of the world. What do you think you'd do if you and we were playing with Scheffler and another one of our buddies there? We come to 16 and it's at the Pro-Am and there's 50,000 sitting there at the Pro-Am. How would you? What do you hit? Say it's a $152 wherever the pin is. Do you swing through it? Are you shaking when you put your peg in the ground? Would you love to do it? Do you have the balls to do it?
I'd love to do it, and luckily it's the 16th hole, so I would be nice and inebriated by then, so I wouldn't probably care too much about the people around me. And
that's the only way to do it, right, brother?
I would still shank it into some lady's head.
Beer.
I'm gonna guess a pole shank off to the left into the Coors Light booth at some lady's head. That's what I'm doing. But
celebrate it too. And celebrate it. Yes. Yeah. I think even the best of the best are going to do that. Why? 8 handicap, 5 handicap. the nerves and gripping that club. And it's weird when you hear PGA Tour players say, I've never been more nervous on a golf hole in my life. And they're talking guys that have played majors. It's crazy.
That's like that tournament. I mean, and we're going to get into more about what this tournament is and why others aren't replicating it and all that. But, you know, if you look back at the winners of that tournament, it really is the guys with the stones, you know, the Koepkas of the world that win it. I don't think a guy that, you know, is really ever, you know, a head guy like a Jordan Spieth. I don't think he's winning that tournament. I don't know. Has he? Maybe I'm talking.
He has won it, and he's had good finishes.
Oh well, fuck me.
Yeah. But I like this. He talks to himself so much. Yeah, I get it.
I picture him as a guy that's in his head, but that's the kind of player I'm talking about. Like, you know, certainly in the last few years, he's been very much in his head, and I don't see the guys that are like that winning this tournament. That stretch of holes at the end there is up there with as hard of a hole in terms of pressure that you'll find in golf. I mean, it's up there with Amen Corner and some of these other ones that we see at these big tournaments. So, you know, that's why I think it favors a guy like Koepka, like Scheffler, who just is stone cold out on the course. And it really seems to let nothing affect them.
Yeah, some funny moments, guys taking shirts off, wearing jerseys. It's awesome there. And you're that 16, 17, 18 stretch. And the truth of the matter is the golf hole is not hard. If you and I went out there and played it and the grandstands were gone, we'd get to 16 saying, okay, a chance for, depending on if it's that lower left pin place where balls kind of feed there, you'd sit there and say, I can hit it in the middle of the green and two putt for a par. I mean, it's not that hard a hole. It's not that dangerous a hole, yet the stands and the people. It is simply I don't want to embarrass myself hole. That's exactly what it is. Matter of fact, I'm convinced that guys that could play in the Pro-Am don't show up that have been invited because they don't want to have a year of being somebody's gif or meme or constant resurfacing on social media that, dude, you did what Nick said you do, you know, snap hook one into somebody's beer off her head or into her hat. So and then 17, it's dangerous because you want to drive it because it's a drivable. And then 18 used to be for the pros a more difficult hole. The water doesn't really come into play because they bomb it so far now, and that's a great finishing hole. And you got a chance to make birdie with a short to, if at the most, mid-iron in there. So it's a great finishing stretch and a great atmosphere, the setup, which leads me to, why aren't we doing it elsewhere? Now, I know the pros, they love it for 1 week. Would they love it for 10? Now, it's gotten out of hand. We've seen at times, I think most of them, I don't think it's hateful. Some are just having too much fun, and we've seen pros get a little offended. But if you're going to sign up for this damn tournament, you can't be a pussy and go in there and be mad when they yell. Now, I'd love it if they had the courtesy in the backswing, don't say anything like we saw at the Ryder Cup. But once the ball's off the club before and after, let it rip. And if you're a player that's offended by that, then I suggest you stay home because this hole's not for you and neither is the tournament. But why can't we repeat it? And should we?
You're probably not going to expect my answer. You probably think with this on my head that I think every tournament should be like this. I like that it's its own thing. I like that it is the only one. It's kind of like it's like prom night. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get a little wild at this one time, but then the rest of the year it's business as usual. Go out and win tournaments. The majors have their own aura about them. I like that there is nothing else that can compete with this in this way. It's what makes it in my opinion, second most exciting tournament of the year behind the Masters. Maybe sometimes, depending on where it's played, I'll give the U.S. Open the nod above this one. But other than that, there is nothing else that competes with this. But I don't think they can or should try to, right? Like, I think you could make the argument that maybe the players could be something like this, maybe, because, it's all the best. It's like the major.
And that 17 sets up for it at the par 3 hole, right? Yeah.
Right. But, for that reason, the Amex could. But I just think, that you don't want to try to recreate something and make it feel forced. This all happened naturally here at the Waste Management Open over the course of a few years, and it's become what it's become. And I don't think anyone would do it the right way. It wouldn't feel as organic as this one does.
And we have 100% agreement with you. I've been thinking about this a lot. Well, why wouldn't you? But then you get into the point where you're just becoming mid for everybody. This is special, and you want it to be that way. It would lose its luster if we had it 8 different places. Then by the 6th one, you're at a tournament. The fatigue sets in. Like, and it's like, okay, enough of these drunks and people doing it. And I'll tell you what it's done. You talk a lot about YouTube, and so do I, about the YouTube presence and what it's done for golf and young people. There's no tournament in the world ever, in the history of this of golf, that has ever brought more young people into a tournament and into golf than this. Even if they don't like it, they're there to watch it. And you want eyes and optics, they're there. You know, from everything from shorts and booze and laughs and jokes and fun.
Well,
and it's
not only young people, but how about the celebrity element? I mean,
you
actually were out there. I've been out there on the weekends of the, and I'm playing in celebrity tournaments where there's all the top guys there, the Andrew Santinos of the world. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on who else was there, but and you got the guys of good that are all out there, and they're bouncing around in the Golf Channel, doing all kinds of events every night leading up to the tournament. Then you have the massive concerts that happen that night, which is actually
a lot of country western stars. Yep,
that's exactly an ode to the Amex Open that not a lot of people know. The Amex Open started that, and the Waste Management adopted it. And it is a true 1 week long party. Oh, and by the way, the same Sunday, it's the Super Bowl. So it's just one of the best weeks of the year in golf next to the Masters for me. And again, I think, like you said, not only does it bring the young crowd, but look at the star power that it brings out that are there playing in the Pro-Am. It's probably the most exciting Pro-Am, except for like that one up in Tahoe every year. And it's an exciting week. I hope the coverage is as good as it was last week at the Farmers with ESPN. I'm not sure if they're
no doubt.
It,
and a thumbs up to my guy Colt Knost, who is now in the booth for Ian Baker Finch. It was his first broadcast in the booth. You were fantastic, brother, and I thought it was really good. And then now, Johnson Wagner took over for Colt Knost. He's on with Dottie, and CBS does a great job. And Colt's energy was palpable at the event, and I loved it. And you're right, man. The celebrities and the people it brings in, the concerts, top-notch stars concerts, people want to come and play there. And it is a party. And the CEO, again, of Waste Management was being interviewed by Jimmy Roberts on the Golf Channel on his show. And from NBC, who's been doing it a long time and a great interviewer, he said, basically it's a party where golf shows up. It's not golf where there's a party. It's a party, and golf happens to be a part of the party. And you just got to see your way through it. It's awesome. And if you haven't been to an event, I know everybody wants to go to Augusta and the majors. If you love golf, and in Scottsdale, the weather's going to be in the 70s and 80s. You're leading into spring training. You just got done with Barrett Jackson. It is the week of the Super Bowl. If you're looking for like your springboard into 2026, this is it. And it just doesn't get any better than this. A couple just side notes. This week also the World Golf Rankings, which will lead me to our next topic. And then we'll get back to the Phoenix Open and pick our winner at the end of the show. Is the World Golf Rankings back and forth, the bantering about who gets points and who doesn't, have come up now that the top 10 live golfer each week, the top 10 people will qualify for World Golf Ranking points. If you're 11th, you don't get any. The top 10. It also led to Bryson DeChambeau, who is is such a sensation, not only as a YouTuber, but a great player. And I know the tour would love to have him back, and he makes a bundle of money, but he's also a damn good player and won majors. And is such a technician and an analytics guy. And I'll paraphrase, but they talked to him about, the changes that LIV imposed this offseason from 54 to 72 holes. And I got mixed feelings about this, where Bryson said that, well, that's not what we signed up for. So we're going to have to revisit this and find out after this year, because his contract is up on LIV. I don't know if LIV can survive the next after 2 or 3 years. And if John Rahm or DeChambeau decide to leave, it's probably going to go away, I would imagine. But if or at least it'll become AAA, and there's too many golfers that are good, Cam Smith, for it to become AAA. But DeChambeau said that's not what we signed up for. So I'm mixed on it. He's exactly right. But, dude, if you want World Golf Rankings and I'm a huge DeChambeau fan, but where I differ is, so you got to play 72 holes. Who the fuck cares? That's where you played golf when you were. That's the element of golf. Can't play 54 holes and get World Golf Ranking points. I'm just sorry. You just can't. It's like cutting a tournament off on Saturday and saying, okay, cool. And so and he'll buy into it, and he'll finish in the top 10 and plenty of them and get points. But at least they're progressing on recognizing good play, and they do deserve it because Joaquin Neiman and him and Cam Smith and John Rahm and Turl Hatton. There's some great players over there that I know they'd love to have back. So with that being said, I am convinced that looking at DeChambeau's quote and what he said about this and LIV, I think they're going to have to, it's either a great negotiation ploy to get $500 million moving forward after this contract, and he's brilliant at it. I'm going to tell you right here, this is his last year on LIV Golf Tour. I fully believe it. I think he's going to watch these guys and that competitive juices that he has. He knows how to make money anywhere, and to say, you know what, I got to get back to that element, because I think every tournament matters to him. Some of these guys play for majors and the heat matters to him, but he's the perfect Phoenix Open guy. Hell, he epitomizes what it'd be like, and he can play in majors, got great short game. I think that was an opening, and the quote from DeChambeau, I think, opened the door that he's not overly satisfied with what's going on. I'm going to tell you, at this time next year, I fully believe that the guy, or some point in 2027, that DeChambeau's back. And that's no knock on LIV. I just think that Koepka and Patrick Reed, I don't think we're done. I think we're done in 2026. I don't think you're done next year. True opinion. I think he will be back, as will a few more. Now, I don't know if Cam Smith will ever come back. So
he's already hinted throughout this year that it's going to take a lot for him to stay. You're right. It could be a negotiation tactic, but I think it's a guy that wants to compete. The 54-hole thing seems like noise to me. The guy likes playing in majors. He loved it when he played on the PGA Tour. He took the money. You know, he was obviously he took the money and he ran with it, right? The Phil Mickelsons, the Sergio Garcias of the world, these guys that have families, they're older, and the 54-hole thing, 8 tournaments a year, the whole like allure to live in the beginning, it made sense for those guys. It never made sense for Bryson in that context. Sure, the money, but that's about it. I mean, the guy, you know, other than his emergence in YouTube golf would be irrelevant because of LIV. Like, anybody that's gone to LIV that didn't also parlay that into YouTube golf is pretty much irrelevant. John Rahm, do you care what he's shooting at LIV?
See, golf? I do. Oh no, because he's dominant.
And by the way,
but
nobody else
Rahm
does.
Will finish. But on LIV, no, they don't. But he's getting paid and winning and doing it. I can tell you this, and John Rahm's got that competitive flow that Koepka has as well. That there's that. Yet he's 3 times in a row Player of the Year, whatever it is on the LIV Tour. But I think Rahm's built for 72 holes. I don't think he likes. I mean, he lives with it. But I think John Rahm fits into the tour.
I remember vividly when John Rahm made the switch, and it felt like a hostage video to me. A lot of these guys that made the switch, it felt like, I have to take this money to secure a future for my family.
I don't blame him at the time. Do you blame him? Somebody offers you 300, 400 million?
Right. No, exactly. And I think it's going to probably take closer to $1 billion to keep Bryson DeChambeau this time around. And I think LIV knows that, and he knows that, and he's just playing the right political game to make sure that when that negotiation is up, that's what he's going to get. Because otherwise, I believe, even with Rahm, Cam Smith, these other guys, without Bryson, it's done.
Yeah. And how can I pay Rahm or Bryson $1 billion and be profitable? I know there's plenty of money over there. I get it. But I'm just talking about profitable. Listen, billionaires are billionaires for a reason. They know how to keep money, and they like making money. And they're as tight with their money as anybody until the only way they get guys to go there is by paying them big guaranteed money up front. Now, I don't know if Dustin Johnson ever wants to come back. We've talked about that. But the Rahm and DeChambeau, they can walk off LIV and win a tournament the next week. They're both major winners. They're both great golfers. And I think both of them, in truth, if you had a beer and sat down with them, say, dude, what gets your competitive juices flowing? 72 holes or 54, LIV Tour. And I'm not downing. Listen, if somebody would offer me $600 million or $500 million to leave, and you were a player that you wanted that security, why in the world, or even $100 million, it'd be hard to pass up. I get why you listen, but I think it's going to run its course. And I think both of those guys will be back winning on the PGA Tour. But you're right. DeChambeau and Rahm leave, or DeChambeau leaves, I'm not sure how you survive, because I don't think any other stars, I'm talking about big names, the top 20 players, I don't think any of them are leaving again. You'll get good players that are the 75th or the 50th player. I don't think now, after all this has happened, that you're going to get guys leave. If you're there, you may stay. I don't think you're getting a top 10 player leaving again, like we had the Exodus.
I think
when it
the
happened,
the only way it happens is, like you mentioned, it becomes a AAA league for the tour that is its own thing. There's only 8 events. You only have to miss a certain PGA event, but that's really in the PGA hands. That Live Golf probably wanted to be that. Live Golf wanted these guys to be able to go play in the other events and just, kind of ride the coattails of the PGA, and the PGA is who shut it down. Maybe they're more interested now than before in having that conversation, because they know that there's no way that it'll ever overtake the PGA. But if you're the PGA, do you really care? Or you just say, just go away? They hold all the cards.
Just to show where we think on this, and we'll move on. You get to pick 5 golfers currently on either tour. Your life depends on them shooting 68 in the 68 or finishing in the top 10 of a tournament.
Here's the hard part.
Of course,
here's the hard part for me. I don't watch Live because it's uninteresting to me. The shotgun.
Well, you do know the 3 or 4 names you already named. So take either tour.
Well,
your life
what I mean by that is I haven't seen Jon Rahm play on Live Tour because I don't give a shit.
Well, he's been a player of the year about 3 times in a row, so he's still playing good golf.
2 years ago. But you're asking me today if I got to know someone's going to shoot 68 or less.
Okay. Just knowing what you know. Your life's on the line, and it's Sunday, and they're in the top. I want your 5 guys from either tour. I don't care if you haven't seen them, then don't pick them. Your life depends on them not only making the cut, but finishing in the top 10. Your life depends on it. Yeah, and we'll pick the course, Pebble Beach, Phoenix Open this week. It's at that. You name me the 5 guys that you would take to finish in the top 10. Your life depends on it, and 3 of them have to finish or you're dead. Who are the 5 guys you get to pick?
I mean, Scheffler, I would pick him 5 times if I could. I'm not taking Bryson. I would take Rahm. That's fair based on what I know.
I take McIlroy. I'm taking
McIlroy. There's 4. Yeah, but the 5th one would be interesting. I don't have a 5th one. Honestly, my gut's telling me Justin Thomas. If they know my life's on the line and they know I'm a good man, for God's sakes, they'll fucking shoot a 68 for me. Justin Thomas.
They're going to rally. They're going to rally.
I didn't even put, I'm not putting Bryson in there. Definitely not. So Justin Rose, Justin Thomas, Jon Rahm, Scotty, and who was my 5th?
I don't even know who'd you pick. Okay, for life on the line. Now, if their life's on the line, it's Scheffler, McIlroy.
McIlroy, that was the 5th.
Scheffler, McIlroy, obvious. Jon Rahm would have to be on there. He's good. If my life is on the line, as much as I love Justin Rose, I'm not sure week to week that if my life is on the line now. If I get the right one, I love his, and I know he'll grind for you. And if his life is on the line, I get it. Rahm, McIlroy.
Who else would you take on Live? Who else would you take right now?
Well, I would consider DeChambeau because I've seen him in huge moments, hitting a bunker shot at the U.S. Open and staring down Rory. I've seen him bring a golf course at a major to its knees because he's cutting corners. I'd have a hard time leaving him out because I think he thrives on this shit. I do. What was your question, Brian? What did you say? Not Bryson.
Who on Live Golf?
Tyrrell Hatton would be the other guy. I think Tyrrell Hatton's. I think he's a top 5 to 10 golfer in the world. I trust him. Fiery personality. I just think he does everything well, and I think he's got big balls. And if I needed an iron shot, Shane Lowry would be a good one. I'm trying to think of who I would trust. I'm going through the Koepkas and the major winners: Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. I'm going through in my mind. There's only 3 guys I would consider on Live to be that. Tyrrell Hatton, Mickelson in his prime. There's no doubt about that. Like you, my 5th one, I don't know. You know what? You want a consistent, boring top 10 guy. I know it drives people crazy. Patrick Cantlay is always hanging around. He just is. That's fair. So a guy like I would probably. I mean, he's a little too erratic for me. Meaning Victor Hovland. But on a good day, Victor Hovland is a friggin' phenomenal player like Ludwig Goldberg. So I'm okay with that group. I would just want to kill Patrick Cantlay by the time the event was over because it would take us 6 hours for him to stand up and hit the golf ball, which would drive me friggin' mad. But there's a no-brainer on Rahm, McIlroy, and Scheffler at the top. You can argue over whoever you want with the final two. All right, my man, I don't know if you watch much LPGA. I do. They play in the event out in Florida at Lake Nona Country Club in Orlando. And it was brutally cold there. The cold went through there too. Nelly Korda didn't win last year, but she's still one of the best players, has been the #1 player in the world before, and she's so consistent. She said it may have been the best round she's ever shot on, Saturday to get her in position with a 3-stroke lead going into Sunday. They canceled that event after 54 holes after 3 rounds because they didn't want to play. It was too cold. The rain didn't stop. There was no lightning. It was too cold. I got a problem with it. And I understand they want to equal. They want to bring attention to their events, and they should. They're so friggin' good. When we got, Tana Tavakid or Gino Titakun hitting at 300 yards and Nelly Korda, they don't have to apologize for it at 260 and hit it. Phenomenal. Lottie Woed, all of them. But they want to tournament short. She didn't have to take a swing on Saturday. They had to finish round 3 on Sunday morning so they could get the 3 rounds in. But Nelly Korda didn't have to hit a shot. I did have a problem with it because you're trying to preach the toughness. We're here. The sponsors paid a lot of money. Their personal sponsors paid a lot of money to see their hat and their shirts and all the stuff they wear on their golf bag. And then not to get it because, they wanted to to be a competitive environment. Isn't weather, are they canceling the British Open for the guys? And I think most of the PGA Tour, while it was a brutal condition, I don't want to play in it, but I ain't getting paid to do it. And I think for just optics and, really? Damn. Nelly Korda could beat some dudes on the right day. She's really from her tee. She's that good. Why do we cancel it? I did have, and the LPGA commissioner wasn't really around to answer those questions. I don't think you can cancel it. I think they got to gut out 18 holes and deal with it. There's no threat. It's not rain. I understand raining sideways, that the hard stuff's not coming down for hours, but this was cold and miserable. But isn't that a test of everybody's fortitude and skill set? And Nelly Korda the day before in brutal weather showed why she is as good as anybody in the world on the female side. I had a problem with it, and I thought they lost a chance to prove we'll go out there and gut through some elements. I think they did it wrong, and I think it would have been a feather in their cap to finish it for one, even if they had to delay it to the next day. Let them go play. The pros do, meaning the men, got to do it.
The men delay till Monday all the time, right? You're never going to there's never a world where you're going to not finish a tournament. Where my mind goes is, what do you think the gals that are on the cusp feel about that could have grinded it out and maybe had a bit more mental game to make a few extra bucks to move up in the ranks of just that tournament but also in the ranks of the whole year? How do you think they felt about it? What kind of message does that send to the middle of the road people that are grinding, whether it's the PGA or the LPGA? And it's like, you know what? We really don't give a shit how much you're grinding and how much you're trying, how much you paid to get here. You're just not going to make money, or we don't even want to give you a chance. We're calling it because our stars are cold. That's bullshit to me. And
100.
It's bad enough you play from the different tee box, but Jesus Christ, have some balls.
Yeah, and even if you don't want this day and age, I don't know who has balls and who doesn't. But if my aunt had uncles, my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, apparently. But
put that on a shirt, John.
I intend to. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. But this day and age in society, I don't know who is and who isn't, what pronouns we're using. On the LPGA Tour, I know they're damn good players and deserve credit for being great. But the people who decide the rules, because the players are going to go out there when they're told what to do. So it's not really on them. It's those who decide. And I'm sure if you're Nelly Korda, you're like, I'd love to go play, but damn, if you're going to hand me a win after 54 holes, I'll take that money. I'll take those points, and I'll take that moving forward. But they also had the celebrity part of it, the celebrity playing it. They had their celebrity events, and Dwight Freeney and a lot of players. They finished. They had that. So the dudes who have played in their career, but the women who are better golfers and great players and have shown that, you didn't give them an opportunity to prove that the elements didn't send them home and that they were soft. And they're not soft, but the rules committee or whoever decided this, I think it was horseshit. And sponsors, are you giving money back for not being an 18 hole? Are you giving one day back for sponsor pay? Are you prorating it?
The sponsors too, but I mean, really, and I mentioned the golfers already, but what a bad look. I mean, you said you're a fan. I don't watch LPGA much. So what a bad look for the fan. That's like, you're one of the few that are supporting this league and keeping it afloat, and they just do that to you. That is, I mean, imagine if you were out there visiting, you flew out to watch this tournament. What about the little girls that flew out there to watch their favorite players play on a Sunday? It's just, there's just no,
I agree.
There's so much
it's maybe little, but it's big. I'm with you 100%.
It's absolutely big.
I could not agree more. And I'll tell you why I watch, aside from I'm mesmerized, but how they move the ball and how they can hit it. But you know what, number one reason is I'm a big tempo guy. And if you played in like a pro-am in an event or with a really good female golfer, and they're all good on tour, there's a tempo that's mesmerizing. It's like, damn, if I could just find. So I'm sitting there wide, and I watched Nelly Cordes swing. I said, how is she pumping it out there 300 yards? But it's just amazing how she's hitting it on that little circle that you need to hit and square up that golf club. So I do. And I was disappointed that we didn't get to wake up and watch them deal with elements. I think it would have been a big feather in their cap. But if you're Nelly Cordes, you're like, thanks for handing me. And now who knows if somebody had won, because the day before, to shoot what she shot in the elements, it was unbelievable. And trying to keep your hands warm in between each shot. All right, let's wrap it up with this, man. At the Waste Management Phoenix Open, pick somebody. Give me two golfers that are going to win it. Your first choice and your second choice, and we'll do the combined score as always.
You can't bet against Scotty Scheffler if he's in a tournament.
You don't get to choose him again. You don't get to choose his ass again. You can't. I give you the first. You can't choose him every fucking week.
If I'm right the first time, which I was.
Whoa! Way to go out on a limb. You chose Scheffler to win.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm going to pick two.
Choose Joel Damon. Yeah.
I'm going to pick two, but that is absolutely one. I also have Joel Damon in the top 10. Okay, so that's another bet. And then the dark horse to win it. Okay? I know I already talked shit on him. You want me to go dark? I'm going Nick Taylor. Nick Taylor.
You're going Nicky Poo. Little Nick Taylor for you. Dude, I got to back up. Do you really want to set up here? That's as bad as the LPGA canceling an event under bad conditions. You're choosing. Why don't you just say, Sean, pencil me in for Scheffler for 22 events this year? You can't do that. If it was an elimination pool, you would have already used it.
I mean,
okay, you can't use them again.
Do the math. Okay, let's do the math. If I pick Scheffler 20 out of 20, I'm going to be right 25% of the time, which is an insane number to be right in golf. So I'm not going to pick him in that sense. I don't want him to win. I want to see a guy like Brooks in the mix, Jordan Spieth. I want him in there. If Ricky Fowler's in the field, I want him in the top 20 like he was at the Amex.
He's out there, yeah.
I want these guys, but you're asking me who's going to win. And I'm telling you, a guy like Scheffler, you cannot bet against him. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I like my money.
So you want next week, yeah, but you ain't getting a lot because the whole world's voting on it. So you're telling me on Monday when we come back and do our next show at the Findable podcast, Nick Bender, he is the founder and CEO of Grunkdolfer. It's a great product. Go to grunkdolfer.com and check the stuff out. It's awesome. And I'm sure my box is on its way again with extra large instead of double extra large. So there you go. But you honestly think I'm going to win if Scheffler wins, and there's a good chance he will, that I am going to walk up here and I am going to, that we should compliment you for choosing Scheffler? Do you really think that you deserve credit for that?
I mean, when you're right, you're right.
Honestly. Oh, yeah.
Right.
So can I choose him too? Do I get to choose him as well?
I mean, okay, look. For argument's sake, I will defer and let you pick Scheffler this week.
I don't want Scheffler this week because I don't think he's winning.
Okay. So give me yours, and then I'll pick two more. I'll pick two new ones, or at least one.
I'm going to tell you, first off, the guy who I think is going to win it this week is Hideki Matsuyama. putter, iron player, great around the greens, has been good there. I'm a fan. So Matsuyama to win it. And I'm going to take a flyer on the second one. And I know you like him, and I know he needs to get into the rhythm. I'm going to take a little bit of Victor Hovland energy into this weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to take Victor Hovland second, but I'm taking Hideki Matsuyama to win the event this week, wearing yellow on the final round because his yellow is his Tiger Woods red. Give me Matsuyama to win. Not going away in a close one, but I'll take Matsuyama as my first choice.
All right. I'll tell you, I still am going to stick to Nick Taylor because I think at any given time, especially out in those conditions, he can go super low. Here's the guy I want to win. It's going to be a rebirth, resurgence coming out of nowhere. It's Max Homa. He's my W for the week.
Nice. Homa lives out there. I think he's out near Silverleaf. That's
there
his.
You go. Gun to my head. No
guy. There you go.
And I will put money on Homa for you.
Thank you. You do that. Now I'm okay. Now that pick, there's guts and Homa's solid ball striker. Then again, who isn't? That's my favorite. Oh, the guy's a solid ball striker. Well, no shit. Who isn't? Aren't they all solid ball strikers? But I get what I just love golf verbiage. So you're taking Homa and
Nick Taylor.
And I've got Matsuyama and Victor Hovland this week. And the scores, I would have never said 23 under for to win at Torrey Pines. High teens, low 20s. I don't even know what won it last year, what the score was.
No, I think it's going to be 25-28.
Okay, so you thinking it's closer
to the kind of course. They want it to be like that. They want it to be gettable.
The ball flies. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And it is gettable. Although you got to drive the ball pretty straight. There's some holes that can be sneaky, but you can bring it to its knees because there's some drivable holes and some holes that'll take a lot of shorts. But there's some danger holes too, where there's major drop off behind a green that it's going to slope and run right into water, right into trouble. So I like it. Yeah, I'm going to say low 20s this week, maybe to mid 20s. They won't get to 30, but it'll be good. And I can't wait to see 16. And so there's our bet. And we have our side $100 bet that you had.
Joel Damon top 10.
Joel Damon top 10. I hope he's in the 10. I'm willing to give you that 100 for him because I love him, but I don't think he gets in the top 10 this week, even after a very impressive performance on a tough golf course. We'll do it again next week, brother. What do you got? You'll be tuned in. Are you a 4-day watcher of this event? I think Good's got their event tonight, don't they? Don't they have their nighttime event?
Yeah, actually, a buddy of mine, Max, he goes by Golf Gamble on Instagram, just won in Grunkdolfer gear Good's first 2-man scramble tournament at Dobson Ranch yesterday. So
there you go. Exciting. See, it's the Grunkdolfer effect, dude. It's taking you're the Grunkdolfer is like holding the great driver in their hand, the new Callaway driver, TaylorMade. See, throw on Grunkdolfer. So I guess when's mine going to be here? It's in the mail, right? It's been sent. Just keep checking. Checking.
Now that you're complaining like my wife about it, I will send it right away. I listen to my wife and I listen to women, and that's what you sound like right now.
Well,
so it's on
guess what?
Way. But wait,
what? If that's the way I got to get product, I'm in. Okay.
The big news is you said you wanted an XL. That's good. 6'5".
Right.
I mean,
X6'5".
Dad bought approved is right.
6'5", 228 this morning. I don't think I shrunk overnight, but 228. I am 3 pounds away from the weight I played at. I was between 225 and 230. Little strength training, and hell, I might be the Justin Rose of the senior tour. I might be the Justin Rose. Okay.
What are you doing?
70,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
You know what, dude? I eat at the right time, exercise. I take a natural product that, the curves, not the stuff that I ain't spending that kind of money for a shot, but the natural stuff. And quite frankly, I've taught myself the times and kind of keeping, records of when I feel good and how I'm sleeping, trying to I'm not a big sleeper anyway, but commitment to it, dude. I like to, maybe not as passionate about that fitness as Justin Rose, but understanding as you get older, I don't want to be the guy that's hitting at 265. I want to be the guy and for me, it's more flexibility, right? I've been through the strength training, being strong and bench press and all. Now it's for flexibility and being able to extend and do all that. Everything I train for is health, and this sport right here that we're talking about. Honest to God, health in this sport. And I feel so much better, and I don't require much sleep after losing weight. Do you realize I started at 310 pounds on this journey? Dude, I got
Wow.
and yeah, and because I'm 6'5" now, you could see it in the face. But I started the journey, and you just kind of get around. I'd had a knee replaced. I'm not making excuses, but you get to the point after all, it's like, I'm not going to do anything. I don't care. You eat a pizza, drink a beer. The weekends you're filled with watching sports and I've become more disciplined about it. But it's almost 100 pounds in 2 years, and I've done it right, and I feel good about it. And I'm too afraid of drugs, and I know what it's like to have a semi-addiction to painkillers after surgery and back surgery and knees. And it's not a good thing, man. It's a life killer, and it's a relationship killer. It's a life killer. It's everything. And I wasn't going down that path. So it's been just a commitment to get it right. Now I just need a swing coach that has the same commitment to my golf swing as I did to getting down to an XL. I ain't going any lower than that, brother. I'm at the weight. Matter of fact, I'd like to gain about 10 pounds of muscle back, and then I'll be right where I want to be so I can be flexible. But yeah, extra large will be fine. Thank you.
All right.
Okay?
Now I know I'm going to send you the new. I'm going to send you the brand new Wasted in the Desert collection.
I saw it, dude.
In honor of the waste management. I'll send you that. We got some other new stuff coming out.
The Drinko. I got to have the Drinko, right? You got some friggin' and in truth, folks, Nick has sent me plenty of good stuff, but now getting down to XL where there's not like 6 inches between my collar with double XL. Great product. I love it. And yes, I'm pining and begging, and I'll wear it proudly, brother, because you're doing great things with it. So keep it up. He is the founder of Grunkdolfer, the CEO. He and his partner are killing it the right way, grinding and heckin' folding bags and getting it done. But when he's a big shot, then I'll be begging for more. Then I'm going to say, can you pay me while you're doing it? He'll say, Sean, when's the last time you won a tournament? I haven't. So we'll get it to the guys who have. But we'll do it again next week. Monday, make sure you like and subscribe our YouTube page. And we will have some great guests moving forward. And we love the entertainment. We love the feedback from you. And we love to get in there and banter with you as well, brother. Great stuff. Any parting shots on me you want to say? Because I'm old, but svelte. Okay. Older.
I think it's about time. I think it's about time we meet in Scottsdale, get out on the golf course, and see who is going to be, your old skinny body versus my young, mediocrely obese body, and let's just see who wins.
It's old versus young in the content and roll camera, brother. So because you know what, tape don't lie, right? I'm in, and we will do that. But next week, we'll get the Phoenix Open, Super Bowl. Who you got in the Super Bowl real quick?
I got to go Seahawks just because I don't want the Patriots to win. They took out my Broncos.
Okay. I got Seahawks by I think the Pats cover if it stays around the number now. I think it's going to be a close, nice physical game.
Is it -4?
It started at 5. It might have gone down to 4, depending on where you're looking. I think it's a field goal game. Give me Seattle with the win and my guy Sam Darnold to close this out. I got Seattle winning the game.
I know we don't talk other sports on this show, but I got to say, I think this is my favorite playoffs by far. I wish Josh Allen should be in the Super Bowl, and it sucks that he's not, even though it was my team that took him out. But with Bo Nix going down, I would have rather seen Josh Allen beat the Patriots and go to the Super Bowl. But every game was tight, pretty much, except for the San Fran Seahawks game. And I think this one's actually going to be a blowout. The Seahawks blow out the Patriots and win. Wow. I'm going to say 28-10.
23-20 me. Seahawks win. And I will take the opposite. Josh Allen, well, I had them going to the Super Bowl in August. You only deserve to go to the Super Bowl if your team's earned it.
I know. But as a fan, I wanted it. I mean,
that's fair.
The only year he didn't have to go through Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
And they still didn't get there. There you go. I'm a Bills guy.
I think it's Buffalo. It's the Buffalo curse, right? Back to the what's his name?
Jim Kelly when they won. We got the 4 in a row and didn't win. See, people look at them as a failure. That was my era. They were so good. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, they'll be looked at as they lost 4. But I got news for you. To get to 4 in a row, that is a hard task. Josh Allen's time will come. Give me Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks by 3 in a great football game. And I'm with you. I've loved the playoffs. We'll do it again next week.
Next week, we have to, all these prop bets we talked about, I want to start the show and go through who won what, and let's just like call it out and see who was right.
I can't wait to collect my money. I'll look forward to it next week. Great stuff. That's
Bye,
Nick
guys.
Benner. He is, again, the founder at Grunkdolfer. I'm Sean Salisbury. We'll be back next week. And thanks to Brett, the producer, Brett Burks. He is a genius behind it. And to Bailey, who also executive produces this. We love it. We're just getting started. We'll see you next Monday.